Hey everybody, I'm Jason Yoder. Welcome to my channel. I am back at my home office, back from Korea. So I'm going to show all of you the crazy travel I just endured and also show you where I've captured my images while in South Korea, and especially the ones that I've already sold. So give this video a thumbs up, click that subscribe button. Let's do this. So the flight part of this trip was insane. As you can see, I first had to hop all over Canada. I was actually in Saskatoon for a week, but on the way home I stopped in Vancouver for the night, then down to Seattle in the morning for a 40-minute connection to make my flight to Seoul, and then down to Busan. When it's time to leave, I went from Busan to Tokyo, then over to Dallas-Fort Worth, where we had some absolutely insane weather that resulted in 3 flight cancellations, but finally made it back to Phoenix. So with about 16,000 air miles under my belt, yeah, that was a lot of flying. But let's take a look at where I took my images. So Chinhae is located on the south end of the peninsula. And here's just kind of an overview of the city itself. So let's talk a little bit about some of the places where I captured my images. The canal, the creek that I captured on my first evening there, you'll find that right along here. Now this is a very popular photographic spot and tourist spot during the cherry blossom season, because all those trees that are overhanging the creek are cherry trees. Now, next up, let's talk about where I did my Chinhae Tower. The Chinhae Tower is right here, and the 365 steps to the top you'll find right there. However, there's actually 2 trails along the back of the mountain that will take you up there a little, not as intense of a walk to get up, not as many steps. Alright, so let's talk about another photographic spot, and that is when I went out to the coast of Chinhae. So first of all, that long mural that I took images of, you're going to find that long mural right along here. Alright, and then the place where I went out for my evening walk and along the seashore was right along this area here, and right about here is where I took my final images from Chinhae before leaving the country. Now, as for the food places, we gotta talk about those food places because they were pretty awesome. Our favorite one and easiest for us to get to, chicken and beer. Right here is where you're gonna find it. The Chinese restaurant that we ate at, you'll find along the main street, approximately right here. The Korean barbecue, well, first of all, there's Korean barbecues everywhere, but you'll find that right along here. And then the really cool chicken place I ate at that first night, and then the team went back to, and we had, well, chicken feet. You'll find it right here. So all the places I went to in Chinhae were pretty much in the center part of the city. No more than maybe 15 minutes between each point walking. So very close, convenient. Now, let's go to Seoul. So Seoul is just an absolutely huge city. So our hotel, we actually came into Seoul over here at Seoul Station, and whoops, wrong place, right there, Seoul Station. And then we took another subway back down here to the closest station to our hotel, which is right about here. Now, the subway was an excellent way for us to get around town. And I chose locations that look very photographically interesting, but also within reasonable walking distance. We can maximize our time there. Really, we only had 1 full day of exploring to do in Seoul. So this is where I did my exploring. So we came out of the subway station here, and this is the Jinyeong, I believe it's pronounced Jinyeong Buddhist temple. I actually visited twice, once in the morning, and then because the lanterns that were all over the place, I decided to come back. We visited it again in the evening. Now, the Royal Palace. Let's talk about that. Just a few minutes walking distance. So, get the right thing. There we go. So, right here is the main gate to the Royal Palace. Now, this one, actually, this image has already sold the nighttime image, because this is one of the places I came back to at night as well. And this is the area that we explored in that episode where we were exploring the Royal Palace grounds. Now, here's where I captured images of the throne room, that really neat pavilion out on the water. Now, the next episode, when we were escaping the crowds, we literally escaped the crowds. This was the complex that we explored again within the palace grounds. Was this? I don't know what it was, but it's pretty much, there's one guard, and we pretty much had the place to ourselves. We also got to come over here to the National Folk Museum of Korea, and that was a real good place to kind of duck out of the heat for a little bit and just kind of cool down. Alright, so our next stop was the Banuk Hunchuk village. So we actually, let me zoom in just a little tighter here, we actually left out of, where is that gate? Right here, came down this way, and eventually found ourselves in the village. And I think, yeah, we came up this way, and then right here is where we got our dumplings. And it was a really neat place too, a little family-owned operation. So if you go into that video, you'll actually get the GPS coordinates of the actual restaurant. Alright, so next up is going to be North Seoul Tower. So we kind of headed down this road and found ourselves a subway station and took it around town to the north side of the mountain where the tower, there we go, where the Seoul Tower is actually at. Now there is an aerial tram that will take you up there, and I'm trying to see if I can find it here for you. Yep, right there it is. So what we did is we actually got off at the Mingjong station and walked up to the aerial tram and took it up to the top. That was a really great view, but I'll be honest with you, it was also very smoggy that day, so you really couldn't see too far. After that, we headed back to the hotel where we basically took a nap and picked up our gear and got ready for the nighttime images. Again, we came back here into downtown Seoul, went to the Jongkuk Buddhist temple, and then we headed down the street. And this is where we picked up the night market. And this is the area that I was doing my photography down on the Canal of the Water, where we had all that excellent street food. And then finally, we headed up this way and captured the main gate to the Royal Palace at night. And at that point, they turned out the lights. So to be honest with you, a part that you did not see is we actually walked over here to the metro station to find out it was closed. So we had to take an Uber back, and let me tell you, Uber in Seoul, they're essentially limousines. Just to make the evening more exciting, we can't get on the subway because they've closed, so thank goodness for Uber. Yep.
Large.
Alright, so I guess we're going home in style tonight. We got an Uber. Just so you guys know, Fernando likes, don't you?
It's marvelous.
Marvelous. Marvelous, darling.
Marvelous.
Marvelous. Alright, so that final evening in Busan, where we went to, I think it was called the Galmeji Brewery. Anyhow, guys, just to let you know where it's at, zooming in here in Busan, you will find that right here, which means this is the area that we were exploring that night, and we are definitely planning on going back, even if it's just for a weekend. We're planning on going back there and exploring that area. The sheer amount of food to try was absolutely amazing. Okay, that's it. those are the places I took my images and I explored while I was in South Korea. So I hope that this helped you plan out your next trip to South Korea so you can see where to take some incredible photographs. Again, give this video a thumbs up, click that subscribe button, and remember, never stop exploring, and I will see you on the next adventure.